And doesn't it feel alive, or doesn't it feel wonderful? Let's rewind that. Let's start again. And doesn't it feel great to be alive wherever you are in the world tonight? Hello, I'm Luke Michael Howard, clinical hypnotist and owner of Hypnosis with the Hypnosis Show, the 18th edition of the Hypnosis Show. And it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. If you do indeed know what that means, type it in the comments below. And let me talk to you. Tonight we are broadcasting live around the world on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on what's that one? Twitch, on X, and on TikTok and LinkedIn, if I didn't already say that, to name but a few. If you can see me, if you can hear me, say hello in the comments below. See, the Hypno Pixie has joined us. Michael has joined us. If you see me looking here, I'm looking and speaking to everybody on every form of social media except for TikTok. If I'm talking to you here and you see me looking like this, I'm speaking to you on TikTok. So if I'm looking like this, everyone but TikTok. If I'm looking like this is TikTok. So I've got two cameras going on here. So it's not that I haven't taken my meds tonight. It's that I want you all to feel included. Saying that, what form of social media are you watching me on tonight? Curious to know. Are you watching on Facebook? Are you watching on YouTube? Are you watching on Instagram? Are you watching on Twitch? Are you watching on X? Are you watching on LinkedIn? Put it in the comments below. Let's see what the people are saying. And also, what country are you in? It's always good to know where you're watching me from. I am broadcasting right now from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Originally not where I'm from, of course. If you can guess where I'm from originally, you can put it in the comments below as well. How this kind of works is audience participation. I mean, I've got discourse and I can talk at you. And although I've been accused of loving the sound of my own voice, this always works best if there's an interaction. And given that I am a hypnotist, not a psychic, I don't know what you're thinking right now, and I haven't developed my power of telepathy yet. So the only way I can know what's on your mind is for you to type a comment below, and I can respond upon it. Tonight's discourse is going to be entitled "All Addiction is a Habit." And we're going to get to that a little bit later on. And there may be a cat cameo coming up of Mr. B very shortly. Larry has joined us as well. Hypno Pixie is from Toronto. Lazy Lays 68 has joined us as well. But first, the news. I think let's shake up the format a little bit here tonight. And let's start off with the news. And the news is really what's been going on in my life for this week. Now, one of the rules of marketing, if you do anything in marketing, is don't make it all about yourself, because your clients, your customers, your viewers, it's not all about you and how amazing you are. The rule to that is, or the exception to that is, if what I'm doing can benefit you. So everything I'm going to say is really going on in my life over the last week, and I think it will be of great interest to you and benefit for you. And I think that's the only time that we can talk about as hosts what's going on for us and not come across that we're shelling a bunch of stuff to you. So first and foremost, I'm delighted to announce I will be talking at the upcoming Heartland Hypnosis Conference in Illinois, coming up in April. I think it's the third week of April. It's going to be my first time there. It's the 10th year of the Heartland Hypnosis Conference. I'm very excited. I'm going to be delivering a talk which is how to make big money as a hypnotist or as a change worker. And oftentimes we get into this type of business of healing and helping people because we want to heal and help people, oftentimes because things have happened to us, right? But a lot of us get into it and then we end up having to have like a normal job because we can't make enough money doing the thing that we love, and then we get seduced into doing another job where our heart is not quite in it, but it pays the bills, right? But we never feel fully fulfilled. And you know, I was there in my earlier part of my hypnosis career where I had to have another job to coincide with doing this thing that I'm really passionate at, and some people might even say good at. So over the last 25 years, I've probably encountered every challenge you can. Wasted money, lost money, been hugely successful, helped lots of people, had amazing reviews, had bad reviews, had campaigns of people with literal lynch mobs and forks trying to destroy me, up to being awarded great awards and giving TED Talks out there, and helping tens of thousands of people overcome addictions. So my talk at the Heartland Hypnosis Conference is going to be helping other hypnotists. And it's not just hypnotists, it could be change workers and change workers, people who help people in any field, but for whatever reason, they're not making a wonderful living that they can live off and live handsomely off. That's what my talk at the Heartland Hypnosis Conference is going to be about. And like I said, it's going to be in Illinois. Also, I'm going to be giving a 1-hour talk at the conference. After the conference, I'm going to be hosting a whole one day, because the 1-hour talk's a trailer where I'm going to give away valuable stuff, but it's a trailer to my pre-conference workshop, which is going to be a whole day at the end of the Heartland Hypnosis Conference, which is how to make big money as a hypnotist or as a change worker. And it's going to be a whole day where I'm going to give you literally 25 years of stuff that's worked, tell you stuff that hasn't worked, tell you how to save about $150,000 that I spent and wasted. Well, I didn't waste it all, but some of it, and help you to save that so you can navigate your field around the business aspect of change work, of therapy, so you don't have to make the same mistakes as I did, and you can make a very profitable business. So that's some news. Also, delighted to announce I'm going to be talking at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference this year in Detroit, Michigan. This is going to be in the first or second week of September. I believe I'm going to be talking, it's my third year, and I believe I'm going to be talking on Huna, which is the ancient Hawaiian healing art of Huna, which is a very powerful form of energy psychology that I use with clients. And I believe that's what I'm going to be talking about this show. And I'm going to be talking, I'm just not sure if that's a talk that I'll be giving, but it's always a very successful talk and people really enjoy it and give you some real practical and profound understandings and experiential learning why you are there. Also this week, very excited to announce, and I'm going to make a separate video on this, I was awarded the Global Recognition Award for clinical hypnosis, for moving clinical hypnosis forward. So I'm going to make a separate video on this, but it was an independent group of people got together, as they do for different businesses, and they awarded me for innovations in clinical hypnosis in helping people with addictions. I was awarded this award this week, which is really delightful, and it's good to know that I'm being recognized out there for the work that I do. Again, not to pat myself on the back, but I put a ton of proof out there of videos I make with people, of change work, actual sessions, actual seminars, actual TED Talks, and actually catching up with clients a week after I change work, a month, some clients 7, 8 years after we've done the work together, and I follow up with them because I'm genuinely interested in how they're doing, if the change stuck and what's happened in the time between us finishing our work and now, because I think there's great power and great inspiration there, and quite frankly, case studies. I love to follow up with people and interview my clients to find out, the ones that are open to that, years down the line. So a lot of the work that I've done is based on that, the award recognition. I don't know, the 67 certificates I've accumulated in hypnosis and change work in 25 years. Actually, it's probably more than that. But all that was taken into account along with the case studies and stuff that I've done. So I got the Global Recognition Award for clinical hypnosis. So that was very exciting. I'm going to make a separate video on that. Also, just made a video yesterday, and it's up on my YouTube today. So you can find us on YouTube, and over the next week, I'll be posting it on all forms of social media. Going back to what I just said, I caught up with a client called Kristen. She won't mind me saying her name because she made a bloody video with me for half an hour. And Christina came to see me just before Christmas. Actually, her and her husband had come to see me for 2 separate problems. It wasn't a husband, it was a boyfriend, Cody. Cody had been smoking for a long time, and he booked 3 sessions with me to become a non-smoker. We did 1 session before Christmas. Full disclosure, it's about mid-February now, so about 2 months ago, a little bit over 2 months ago. I believe he's smoking about a pack, just over a pack a day. He's smoking zero. That's just a bonus. But my interview was with his girlfriend, and she'd come to see me because she'd been binge drinking for at least 5 years. She was drinking copious amounts of alcohol. I'm sure she won't mind saying because it's in the video, anyways. Each night, or at least 5-6 nights a week, and it's becoming a real problem for her. And it's really holding her back in her life from really being who she truly was and being an even better mum and role model to her children. And she booked 3 sessions 3 months ago, and we did the first session. A week later, she says, "Luke, can you hold on to the next 2 sessions? Because I'm doing good. I don't need them. I haven't drunk in the last week. I'm doing amazing. Don't want to waste the last 2 sessions. Can we have them on the back burner?" That was 2 months ago. I had a few emails back and forth. And the other day, I'm just like, "Hey," she's like, "I'm doing great. I haven't, I've only drank twice. Instead of drinking every single day copious amounts, she only drank a couple of drinks on New Year's Eve and a couple of drinks on Valentine's Day. So the 60 plus drinks she would have drank in a 60-day period, she's up to about 4. So she didn't drink 50. Instead of the 60 drinks she would have drank, she only drank 4. So she got rid of 56 in total. And they were special occasions, Valentine's Day and Christmas, New Year's Eve, excuse me. So she's delighted. She's really happy about that. And she was lovely enough to allow me to interview her about the whole process. So that's on my Facebook. Sorry, that's on my YouTube right now, but it'll be populating Instagram, YouTube, TikTok over the next week. If you want to see it now, it's on my Facebook and it's on my YouTube. It's a 30-minute video and it's me of a screen and me and Kristen there. So that was that really lovely interview. And I really like to catch up with clients, like I say, to see how they're doing. If you've just joined us, we're going to be just sharing the news of the last week, wins and so forth. What are some of your wins over the last week? What are some great shifts you've made in your life, whether they be in your health, your relationships, your career? Put those in the comments below, because I think it's nice for us to share our victories out there, and I don't think there's anything big-headed about it. If you helping yourself absolutely benefits other people, then you share your story. Share your story and get the word out there. See, Kevin has joined us. Ralph has joined us. Carl has joined us. Stereo has joined us. Ulu, sorry if I mispronounced your name, has joined us. If you've got any comments, put it in the comments below. And I've got an interview coming up with a client over the next week. We've been working together for a couple of years. I initially started to work with his son and then his other son, and then I ended up working with their dad. But it's going to be an amazing interview that I'm going to conduct next week as soon as that's up. Such an amazing story. Maybe the best story that you're ever going to hear in one of these videos. It's just profoundly inspirational. And I hope to have that booked in for next Wednesday, edit that up, and that should be out later next week. With a client I've been working with for over the last year now on something extraordinary. And I think you're really going to be inspired by this video, because I've certainly been inspired by him. So I think that's all the news. Do you have any news? Put in the comments below, share it with us. As always, if you are a smoker and you want to quit, go over to howtostopsmokinginhour.com. That's how to stop smoking in 1 hour.com. I've got a whole masterclass. It's 45 minutes of me sharing tools and information technology with you to help you to cease, to quit smoking, if that is your choice. How to stop smoking in 1 hour, and you can get that free masterclass 45-minute video for free. Just go on to howtostopsmokinginhour.com. All right, if you're out there, say hi, because I can see some people are watching. You're lurking in the background. Don't be a lurker. Say hi. Have you ever been in an environment, right, wherever it be a party or anywhere, and someone really wants to talk to you because they're like orbiting your vicinity? Wherever you go, they're kind of there. They want to talk to you. They want to have an interaction with you, but they just kind of lurk there and they never say or do anything. But wherever you are in that vicinity, they seem to be right by your side. It gets a little bit creepy. Don't be a creep. Don't be a lurker. Say hi. I'm inviting you to say hi. I know I have a beard. I know I have lots of tattoos. I know I have long hair. I know I speak really fast. But I can be a delight. Say hello in the comments below so we can continue the discourse. All right. That being said, tonight's topic, all addiction is a habit. Yeah, you heard that right. I said it. All addiction is a habit. I oversmoke. I oversex. I overuse cocaine. I overuse sugar. I overwatch porn. I overuse crystal meth. I overuse the internet. I overuse my phone. I overuse social media. All addiction is a habit. 25 years of working with close to 10,000 people with every kind of problem you can imagine and some you never ever want to imagine. All addiction is a habit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's easy if you don't have the right tool to get over it. I'm not saying that. Hear that. I'm also not saying that you're not suffering if you're involved in an addiction, which is just a habit that's gone haywire. I'm not saying you're not suffering. I'm not saying you're not going through some mental, emotional, physical, spiritual pain. I'm not saying that. I'm not discounting your experience. But what I'm saying is all addiction is a habit. It might be a really strong, blunt, forceful, brutal, hard habit, but it is a habit. It's a habit. In my experience of working, like I said, every kind of addiction you can imagine, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. There's only a couple that legally I could not say to my clients to get off them, because if I were to legally say that, and they died, then I could be sued and shut down. There's only a couple. Everything else I could say to my clients, just stop it. Example of this is smoking. I can say to my clients, just stop it. Because in my experience, in the history of the world and what I've studied, there's nobody's death that was absolutely correlated with somebody stopped smoking. What I mean by that, someone's living their life and they're smoking. Then they stop smoking and their cause of death was, well, he died because he stopped smoking. It wasn't because he messed up his heart, his lungs, that he had COPD, he had asthma, he had angina, or her, let's not be sexist. The reason he died, the cause of death for him or her was because they stopped smoking. And the body needed that cigarette, needed that nicotine, needed that tar, needed that smoke. And they died the next day after the last cigarette. And it's 100% attributes to them stop smoking. I've never seen that study anywhere in the world, right? So I can say to one blue in the face, stop smoking. And you could stop smoking tonight without me, without anyone's help. I'm not saying it would be the most wonderful experience you've ever had initially stopping it, but you could stop it. And after going through a few days of mental, emotional, maybe even a little bit, less than 2%, of physiological discomfort, it would be done, right? Alcohol, to the most part. Alcohol, to the most part. Alcohol, to the most part, I can say to my clients to stop drinking. Now, there are exceptions to that. Listen to what I'm about to say before you jump on me. There are exceptions to that. There are some clients, and again, 10,000 cases, not all for addiction, not all for alcohol addiction, but literally hundreds. Never have I met somebody whose liver or body was so metabolically addicted to the sugar, to the alcohol, to the chemicals in the alcohol, that if they stopped cold turkey, they would die. Right? That's funny because as I just said that, somebody complained on TikTok. Isn't that interesting? Somebody complained that on TikTok, and I've been restricted because I'm talking about stopping drinking. So somebody complained that I was helping people to stop drinking. That's extraordinary. But if I was dancing naked on this TikTok right now, or semi-naked, or doing some stupid video, I could do that all night. Helping people overcome an addiction? they're restricting me. Isn't that fascinating? Anyways, but for the most part, I can say to my clients to stop doing that and they'd be fine and they're not dying. Now, again, there's are exceptions to that. There's some clients that I've never met that I know exist, though, that livers are so addicted to the chemicals, the sugar, the alcohol, that if they were to stop drinking cold turkey, I won't say that word because that's probably the word which got me restricted. They could potentially no longer be here tomorrow. But in all the cases that I've worked with people, I've never met that particular type of person, but they do exist. Clients I work with cocaine addiction, okay, I can tell them to I'm blue in the face to stop using that particular drug, and they could stop using it, and they'd be okay. They might go through withdrawals, mental, emotional, maybe even a little bit of physical, a tiny bit of physical that would be gone within a day or two. But I can say that to them and they would be fine. There's very few drugs that you couldn't just stop cold turkey, recreational drugs this is, and you wouldn't be fine within a couple of days. Yeah, you go through some emotional turmoil, potentially some mental transitions, perhaps a little bit of physiological discomfort, but not all drugs, but most and very many recreational drugs you could just stop because it's a habit. It's just a habit that's gone rogue. I should have put this in the news segment, but I share it with you now, and I'll change his name to protect him. I have a client, his name's John. He came to see me before Christmas, and he'd been using cocaine. It was actually his parents that had reached out to me, and he's using an ample amount, and they were funding some of it as well. And they were very meaningful, very wonderful parents, very loving parents that wanted to help their son. And we had a chat a couple of months ago, and he convinced me he was ready, and he was using daily, very, very regularly. And his mum today messaged me out of the blue, which was lovely, and she said something along the lines of, and again, I'm changing her name, changing his name, but it said something along the lines of, Luke, you probably don't hear back from a lot of your clients once you finish work with them, which is true. Some of them, I do, but there's quite a few that I don't, through no fault of my own. Life gets in the way. But she says, yeah, it's been a few months now, and John hasn't touched cocaine. He's doing great. And just want to let you know, because I know probably a lot of you don't hear back from a lot of your clients, but I just want you to know. And it's completely unsolicited, and it was lovely to hear back from her, and lovely to hear back from my client John that he's doing so well. So that was great as well. I should have put that in the news segment, but I had so much news today. But all addiction is it's a habit. It's a habit. If you smoke, it's a habit. If you overeat, it's a habit. If you overuse your cell phone, social media, porn, it's just a habit. If you overuse heroin, it's just a habit. If you overdrink, it's just a habit. That don't mean I'm discounting your experience. That don't mean I don't say that you're suffering, that you're hurting in some way. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is take away this addiction, because technically everything's a bloody addiction, right? Everything's addiction. I'm addicted to professional wrestling. Been addicted since I was 9 or 10. Ain't gonna kill me unless Ron Breaker spears me through a table or something. But it's not gonna kill me, right? We're all addicted to something, but also addiction isn't the end of the bloody world, right? Or if you break addiction down, all it means is just a habit that you've lost control of on some level, right? And that habit is now controlling you, and it's gone rogue inside you on some particular level. But if you were to stop it, other than going through some mental or emotional turmoil, perhaps a little bit of physiological turmoil for a few days, it would have gone, it would have passed. All right. When any of my clients come in and they start to use language like my addiction, my anxiety, my depression, I have to metaphorically bitch slap them immediately. I'm like, my? It's yours? It's your addiction? Point to it. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I can point to my iPad. It's right here. I can point to my mouse. It's right here. I can point to my nose. It's right here. Point to your addiction. Point to your sadness. Point to your anxiety. Oh, I can't. It's somewhere around here. Like, where specifically? It's not your anxiety. It's not your addiction. It's not your depression. You're just depressing yourself. You're anxieting yourself. You're addicting yourself. You're habiting yourself. You're not probably not doing it consciously. You're probably not sitting around your table. You're not watching this live on a Wednesday at 7:20. You know what that means? Saying, oh, I'm going to choose to make myself really crave alcohol at this particular moment, cigarettes or heroin. No, it just kind of comes up because it comes up when you're alone, right? It comes up when you're sad. It comes up when you're bored. It comes up because every Wednesday at 7:20, you were doing that particular thing. So it just becomes a habit, something you do. So when someone says my addiction, like, it's like stop making it you. As soon as someone makes an identity statement about it's mine, then I have to tell my clients, don't make it yours, as in an identity statement. Don't make it you, because if you make it you, it's like your arm, your nose, your heart. You don't want to get rid of your arm. You don't want to get rid of your nose. You don't want to get rid of your heart. So do you think by proxy you're going to want to get rid of your habit or your addiction if it's yours? I don't want to get rid of my girlfriend. I don't want to get rid of my car. I don't want to get rid of my money. So why do I want to get rid of my addiction? Be careful of identity statements. Instead of making it my addiction, my smoking, my cigarettes. It's like, no, when I smoke cigarettes, when I drink alcohol, when I use heroin, when I sniff cocaine, when I do this particular habit. Give an example. If it's safe for you to do this, right? If it's not safe, pause this and do when it is safe, right? And if you want to know where to pause it, it's 31 minutes into the live. That's 31 minutes into the live. If it's not safe for you to do this, come back 31 minutes into the live. If it's safe for you to do, you are not driving or operating a heavy machinery, close your eyes now and simply say whatever your problem is. If it's sadness, depression, smoking, heroin, cocaine, whatever your problem is, I want you to say my out loud. And if you can't do it out loud, say it inside of your head, but do it with gusto. And then what your problem is, right? So, for example, my anxiety. Say it and then notice your experience on the inside. Right? Say it 3 times. My alcohol addiction. My cigarette addiction. Whatever your addiction or problem is, then your problem, addiction or habit, 3 times. Notice your experience on the inside. How does that show up for you on the inside? What kind of pictures are you making? What kind of sounds do you hear inside and out? What sensations, emotions are you feeling inside and out? Make a note. All right. Now, again, if it's safe for you to do this, close your eyes. And I want you to just say this and then whatever your problem, habit, or addiction is. All right. You're going to say that smoking, that addiction, that anxiety, that, and whatever your particular problem is. Doesn't just have to be addiction. It can be an emotion or a habit, right? But I'm just going to use it for addiction here, but you incorporate your own language in. Close your eyes if it's safe for you to do. Notice on the inside. Say it out loud. If you feel embarrassed to say it out loud, say it inside with gusto. That's addiction. Notice how that shows up inside. That addiction. Notice how you're experiencing that on the inside. That addiction. Notice the quality or lack thereof of that experience on the inside. And open your eyes. I'm curious, for those of you who did that exercise, when you said my and the problem and addiction, how did it show up for you on the inside? Comments below, because again, I can only read your comments. I'm an hypnotist, not a telepathic person. I don't know what's going on the inside. And also, when you said that addiction, problem, emotion, how did that show up for you on the inside? Now, although I'm not psychic, because I've done this with enough people, I'm going to hallucinate. But when you said mine, there was some tightness inside, perhaps some shallowness of breath, right? Some restricting around it. right? Some closed offness around it, some lack of space around it. But when you said that, insert problem, I'm hallucinating because I've done this a few times. I'm hallucinating when you said it that way. You had a bit more space around it, a little bit more freedom, a little bit more free flowing, a little bit more light, a little bit more looseness, a little bit more relaxation, a little bit more choice. And that's simply by changing my to that. That's what he did. You kept the second word the same. You changed my identity statement. It's about me. Don't want to lose my arm. Don't want to lose my nose. Don't want to lose my heart. Don't want to lose my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my money, my job, my car, my home. Identity statement versus that house, that addiction, that money, that car, that problem, that emotion, that belief. You just changed my to that. That was it. That was it. Literally. That's all he did. Stop making it about this and saw it for what it was, which was this. In Huna, which is Ancient Hawaiian art, that again I'm going to be teaching, I think, at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference this year in September. 1 hour talk on that. We would taking that to the void, essentially, or blowing out the boundaries on it. Mine, the boundary is you. It's inside, encapsulated in this vessel called you, your body, your mind. But that, well, that's everything that you are, right? This is you. It's limited in scale, in scope. But that is all that isn't you. That is all that isn't you. So by taking my limited you, mind, body, and putting it out into the ether of that infinite, that is infinite. There is no barriers. And because there is no barriers, it seems to disintegrate, easy for me to say, that particular problem. Just by taking the my to the that. So look for areas in your life, whether that be smoking, addiction, over drinking, over anxietying yourself, over depressing yourself, right? And stop making it about like, oh, my OCD, oh, my clinical depression, my chronic anxiety, my chronic pain, that pain, that anxiety that shows up at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday evening, right? Starts to lose its power over you. Those words, those images, those thoughts, those feelings, those habits, those addictions start to lose their power over you. This is limited. This is infinite. Throw your shit technical word into the infinite ether, the universe, whatever you want to call it, and let it disintegrate, because that's all there is. This. It has no boundaries. So you can throw it and it will keep going through the air infinitely away from you because it's infinite. Because that's that. This is mine. It's limited. It's always going to stay stuck in my body, my head. Oh, why can't these thoughts, these addictions, this pain, why can't it leave? Because you're bloody making it about you. My. Don't do that. That anxiety, that addiction, that problem, that anxiety that shows up at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, that drinking habit that shows up every night after work at 6 p.m., that chronic pain that only shows up on a Wednesday afternoon right before I need to go to the gym. Stop giving these things power, agency over you. You are more than that. But you have to realize this is limited. This is infinite. Throw it out there. Let the ether take care of it. It's not mine. It's that. If you got any comments about what I'm saying, leave them in the comments below. If you're watching after the fact, feel free to leave some comments and I will get back to you if you agree or disagree. If you agree, fantastic, put it in the comments. If you disagree, be respectful, but put it in the comments. That's cool as well. You know, I'm okay with people disagreeing. I'm just not okay with people being dicks. Because if you're being dicks, and I have to give you a metaphorical bitch slap, you respectfully disagree. That's all right. It's all good. I'm just curious to know your thoughts about that. And I'm even more interested to know about you actually going and using this. Don't ever take my word for it. Don't take anyone's word for anything. Go out there and use this shit. If you've got a persistent problem that keeps circulating in your life, and you catch yourself, my this, my that, just change it to that. That problem, that addiction, that anxiety, that smoking habit, that drinking habit, that heroin addict habit, that masturbation habit, whatever it is, that porn habit, that social media habit, that. I'm curious as to what your true experience is just by changing my to that. Yeah. So give that an attempt. Don't take my word for it. Go and use it. Use it for a week. And then report back. Put some comments under this video. Let me know what your experience was. Then, now, forever together. So I'll give you a few more moments and then, folks, we are going to wrap it up here tonight. And we'll be back next week. Same Luke time, same Luke place, same Luke channel for the Hypnosis Show on all things hypnosis and addiction. Again, if you're watching anywhere, perhaps except for TikTok, you're going to see a scrolling bad boy on the screen right now. It says how to stop smoking in 1 hour. If you are a smoker and you want to quit, there's a 45-minute masterclass with an option to book a free screening call with me, should that be your problem. And by smoking, I mean cigarettes, I mean vaping, I mean tobacco, I mean weed, all of that business. It's the same stuff, because some people are, oh my God, Luke, well, I know you work with eating addictions and smoking, but I'm a cocaine addict. So what specialized skills do you have for cocaine? Well, first of all, I helped a bunch of people with cocaine and overcome it, and they've even made videos for me. They think it's like a different problem. It's not. An addiction is an addiction is an addiction. Doesn't matter if it's from sex, doesn't matter if it's social media, doesn't matter if it's heroin, doesn't matter what level it is, it's still the same makeup that makes that addiction be what it is, right? So whether I'm working with the cigarette addict, whether I'm working with the sugar addict, the cocaine addict, the social media addict, the porn addict, the sex addict, the crystal meth addict, the alcohol addict, I treat them all the same, because the addiction is all the same. It's just a different name. It's just a different cherry on top of the cake or the sundae. The ice cream underneath is essentially the same. It's trauma, it's negative emotions, it's blocks, it's limiting decisions. Okay? It's a distorted belief on who you are, a belief that you're not enough, a lack of self-love. And I don't mean that kind of self-love. I mean real self-love, where you don't have to tell everyone, oh, I love myself. By the way, if you meet someone and you keep saying, oh, I love myself, you know they don't love themselves. If they say they're evolved, the very fact that they need to tell you means they're not evolved. But I mean, some people you're just around and you just know they've got their shit together, not because they're working you, but it's a feeling you get off them, and it's not the words they say. All right? That's how you know about this stuff. But anyways, it's been a delight speaking with you tonight, and look forward to those upcoming events. The new format is going to be me sharing some news at the beginning of successes with clients, some stories from the week, what's going on with me, to show what's going on in my world, because I hope that it inspires you and shows you what you're capable of and what you can do. And there'll be a platform for you to share your stories, your wins, your successes, as long as your successes help other people out there too, in the comments going forward. Again, if you're watching this after the fact, put some of your wins over last week in the comments below. All right? And the only, like I said, any caveat about that is it ain't simply about putting yourself over, but you can put yourself over, as long as putting yourself over is putting a bunch of other people over at the same time. Then everyone gets over, to use some professional wrestling terminology on you. But other than that, guys, it has been a delight speaking with you tonight. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Same Luke time, same Luke place, same Luke channel. Always believe.